Welcome, my young apprentice. It's time to explore everything pop culture and everything science fiction and everything beyond the multiverse. Good. It's time to sharpen those lightsabers. Do it. It's time to shampoo your tauntaun. Do it. It's time to put a spit shine on your dark crystal. Do it. So pull up your favorite beanbag, remove those tendies from the air fryer, because this is PopXcast.
You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast.
We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny.
Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby.
PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior, and welcome, guys, to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. This is episode 138, coming to you on February the 16th, 2022. What's up, Team PopX?
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? What's new in PopX land? Man, we have been busy. It's been 3 weeks since we last broadcast. Can you believe that?
Yes, and it feels like
It's been a very
1,000 years.
fast 3 weeks.
It has been a very fast 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, it's been crazy. But yeah, we got some people hanging out with us. We got DC and Shay next door. What's up, guys?
Hi,
and a
guys.
host of others tuning in from around the
Hello,
interwebs.
neighbor.
Hi. Oh, hello. Will you be my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Please, won't you be? Anyway, I don't know what's going on there. But, man, it has been busy. There's been a lot of things happening, I feel, in the past 3 weeks. A lot of moving parts. Austin, what's new in the Burkinators world? Was that an overloaded question there?
My brain. I've just been watching a lot of stuff, and I don't know what is what anymore. It's like the Netflix blends in with the Star Wars blends in with it. But I did get my Batman screening invite, so
Ooh.
I will be seeing that next week.
You're wait a minute. You're going to go see the Batman. All right. So how early are you seeing the Batman?
I will be seeing it this next Thursday, not tomorrow, but the Thursday of next week.
All right.
And then
We're
I
ending the
believe
stream.
embargo
Screw
lifts-
you. You suck.
Austin, I have a very important question.
Yes.
Are you going to wear your cowl?
Are you going to go into the theater and see like Joker? And then they have that Joker.
I want to. It's press only. I'm definitely wearing some Batman gear. Now, whether or not I wear the cowl,
No,
that
you got
remains
to
to
rock
be-
the cowl. Even at least tuck it under your cape, and you can wear it in the theater.
Oh
In the
man,
dark.
what's up, Derek Smith, joining in the chat room, my buddy here in Claremont.
Hi, Derek.
So man, that is so awesome. You get to see the Batman. Is this like literally 1 week prior to release?
Yeah, it's exactly a week. Now, I was going to the fan screening on that Tuesday, the week it comes out.
Okay.
But the embargo actually lifts the day before that. So my review will drop the second it lifts, which is that Monday. So they're lifting embargo a week early. That is a great sign for the film.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Dude, congratulations. What?
Thank you,
now,
man.
where do you got to drive to see this? Do you got to go out of state or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indianapolis, 3 hours away.
Well, that's not too bad.
Not as bad as it could have been. Not as bad as when I went to Atlanta just to see No Time to Die and Venom that one time. It was a good 6 hours, so this is about half of that.
Okay, yeah, 3 hours is not bad. You can get up and back in one day, I feel, so that's not too bad.
I'm excited, man.
Lindsay, what's new besides Girl Scout cookies in your region?
Oh yeah, if you guys want cookies, hit me up.
She's got cookies. I ain't lying.
I got the
she's
sugar
got some
hookup.
cookies, you know
Just
what I'm saying?
DM me. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I actually started kickboxing back up, so I'm
Let's
gonna
go.
get some serious sweat on and really just mom life, loving and living the mom life.
Mom life. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. So with me, I've just been busy. There's been a lot of things happening in my house. I can't talk about it for the past week or so. Good things, trust me, good things.
All good things.
When it's released, I'll be able to talk about you. Derek says hello, Austin and Lindsay.
Oh,
Oh, everybody, all together in a 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's great. How's the stream looking out there, guys? YouTube is giving me a message
It
like,
looks pretty sexy.
I mean,
not gonna
am I
lie.
running? Are we in full 30 frames a second here? Because it's
I just did a
YouTube
quick
is-
refresh just in case. It looks all right.
Okay, YouTube is being stupid tonight. It's giving me some messages in the dashboard.
Is
that's like,
YouTube a little cranky today?
well, you know what I did though? I buffed up the outgoing streaming to 6,000 kilobytes on OBS because that's what Twitch recommends, and I don't think YouTube is up to snuff with 6,000. 6K.
Come on, YouTube.
I know,
Too fancy
right?
for it.
But it makes for just beautiful, seamless motion video.
Well,
Kumbaya. Anyway,
I love some good
you guys ready for some news? Because I got to do something here. I got to shut up and move. All right, let's roll it. News is coming up your way. Don't go anywhere.
wait, did we
be
even do it an intro?
Oh, we didn't do an intro.
We just skipping that part this time.
We're just going to. We're just trying. Okay, Austin.
Well, my name's Austin. Hey, welcome to PopX, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm Austin Burke, the Appalachian geek at heart. We'd like to welcome everyone who is joining us live in the PopX.live chat room. Come hang out with us and join the conversation at PopXcast.com. If this is your first time tuning in to PopX, the first 10 to 15 minutes we run down the headlines since our last show, Doctor Strange trailer. Then we deep dive into all things nostalgic on the retro rewind, and at the halfway point we hit on the show's topic. And today we got a little bit of Boba Fett going on.
Yeah,
The
can't
book of.
wait, man. Can't wait. Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a great conversation. I'm Joseph Burke, Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast, and founder of PopXcast. Also, I want to thank Lindsay and myself. We are also part of an amazing group of creatives known as the Creative Multiverse. And we got a brand new little shiny logo right down there. And if you want to connect with us on the Creative Multiverse, you see that QR code in the corner? Scan that on your phone and come join us on our Discord channel. And PopX has its own channel, but it's not just limited to PopXcast. We have a plethora of artists on there sharing content on a daily basis. It's pretty awesome. And
Discord's
if you want,
pretty lit. It's
it
pretty lit.
is. If you want to get connected with this amazing pool of artists and creatives who are in the industry doing some phenomenal things, click that QR code, come join us, and be part of the creative collective here at the Creative Multiverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you were not around, or maybe you were, if you missed it, we do have a rewind for you. Episode 137. I know, I got this finger thing going on. I need to stop. Episode 137, we did break down, talk about, and geek out all about Cobra Kai Season 4, and we retro rewound Tron. So make sure to go check that episode out. It's on our official website, popxcast.com, or it's right here on our YouTube channel for your convenience. And any of the other great past shows that you want to check out from the PopX Collective Archive is there as well. I encourage you to go see it.
That's
It's
awesome.
good stuff. There's lots of good geeky
The
goodness.
Burke boys are being mischievous above you
Yeah,
right now. I
you
don't know
are.
if you
It's
know
fine.
that. I'm so
It's
sorry.
fine.
I can't
I'm used to
apologize.
it.
I
It's
know.
been, what, 500 years since we've been doing it?
I know, it's been crazy. I mean, we just celebrated our 7th year doing PopX Cast, which is ridiculous.
It's wonderful.
But I want to say a huge, Alicia, welcome to the stream. So good to see you on board tonight. And I see that Alicia is wearing an amazing avatar, which could be of the subject matter that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Hello, Grogu. Can you get your Grogu out? Because tonight...
Look at my boy.
Yeah, Grogu time. Let's go.
Anyway.
Well, while they're playing with their little Grogus, if you if you like what you're seeing here tonight, which is all things Baby Yoda currently, make sure you are clicking the thumbs up button. Give us all those likes. Throw us a subscribe if you want on the YouTubes. When we schedule new shows, make sure you have that notification bell on so you know when we're going live next. And on all of our podcast friends, please give us a lovely 5-star rating and review because you know you love us.
Make our day.
You do.
Go ahead.
It makes
Make
our day.
Make our
Makes us
day.
feel good to be alive.
With that said, Alicia, yay,
We-
Grogu.
We
That's
are
exactly-
a mess tonight. I swear.
You know
Love
what?
it, though.
I love a mess. All right, guys, we got some news headlines coming up for you right now. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, at the halfway point, like Austin was saying, we're going to be breaking open the box and going straight into Police Academy and Book of Boba Fett. But right now, it is headlines.
Extra, read all about it. This is PopX News, coming to you live, right here on PopXcast.com.
All right. Well, leading out the news this week, I mean, we always want to get the saddest part of the news out of the way for you guys, but the world just literally a couple of days ago lost a comedy legend over the weekend. Late Sunday night, news broke that the filmmaker Ivan Reitman passed away at the age of 75. The writer, director, and producer was a comedy mainstay in Hollywood for decades, helming films like Ghostbusters, Stripes, Meatballs, Kindergarten Cop, Twins, and Evolution. Now, Reitman also produced the likes of Space Jam, kind of a big movie, Heavy Metal, Up in the Air, and 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, where he joined his son Jason. I mean, and the latter two titles being directed by his son. So, it's almost poetry in motion for where the baton has officially been passed from father to son, and now the legacy is now in Jason's hands. I'm just so glad in this whole process that Jason and Ivan were on set together in what is considered to be the culmination of the original first two movies of Ghostbusters, bringing the story to some sense of finality. Austin, what are your thoughts on this beloved icon of Hollywood?
I think I don't want to use the word fitting, but it's almost like it's so odd that we just got the culmination of all of his work with Ghostbusters and this beautiful send-off for, that side of the story with the older characters. And it almost feels like, and I haven't rewatched the movie since, but when I go and I watch that movie again, now I'm going to be thinking about him. And now it's going to feel like that was the ultimate way to kind of say goodbye to his work, because even though his son directed it, obviously, he was the man behind Ghostbusters.
Correct.
It's not only Ghostbusters, right? He's brought countless films, both directing and producing and writing credits and all of these things.
Yeah.
But for me, seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife and thinking about him is going to be just, oh my goodness, it's going to be hard.
I know. It's absolutely phenomenal to hear about this. Lindsay, how do you feel about the whole thing? I mean, I know that we just literally did a show just a couple months ago on Ghostbusters Afterlife. What's your thoughts on that?
It's I like that they were able to spend that time together, and they created some really precious memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel that even after time passes a little bit and those wounds heal just a tiny bit, because I know it's really tender moments right now, but let's say 10 years from now, they can look back on those moments on set together and how they've shared such great things. I feel like that's probably one of the most precious moments that he'll probably look back together with his dad.
Absolutely.
That's a very solemn thought. Yeah. So to all of our, I mean, obviously he's known most for Ghostbusters. I mean,
Sure.
Ivan created a franchise out of four dudes wearing proton packs busting ghosts. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and so his legacy continues on in the hands of his son. But from all of the Ghostbusters, Stripes, Meatballs, Kindergarten Cops, Twins fans around the world, by the way, there's Twins 2 coming. It is going to be a sequel. But you know, we want to send our heartfelt love, thanks for the laughs, and sincere condolences from PopX Cast, okay?
Absolutely.
Austin Burke.
Yeah.
You're up.
It's me.
You're
Well,
up.
this is great because I was right before this making my video on the finale of Peacemaker, but in just a few hours, Team Peacemaker will put Project Butterfly to bed. But don't expect this to be their last mission together. James Gunn has confirmed that HBO Max has renewed Peacemaker for another season. Check out Gunn's announcement below.
Nice.
James Gunn took to Twitter to announce the big news for the DC team, and he said, that's right, Peacemaker is coming back for season 2. Thanks to Peter Safran, John Cena, our incredible cast and crew, our wildly supportive and lovely friends at HBO Max, but mostly all of you for watching Peacemaker. So my question to you all is, well, I guess, Lindsay, you haven't seen it yet. Joe, have you memorized the opening dance for Peacemaker?
Man, I feel like I need to pray and like bless myself with holy water before I watch each episode of Peacemaker. It's like, you know, it's James Gunn first and foremost, and it's like James Gunn out of the Marvel restrictions, if you
just
will.
let loose, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you remember Suicide Squad, Lindsay?
Mm-hmm.
You remember how crazy that was?
Uh-huh.
Well, just imagine that turned up to about 10 notches.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm excited for this, though. I mean, what a crazy show. James Gunn breathing new life into a kind of a lesser-known character. If I'm not mistaken, I was researching a little bit on Peacemaker just a few weeks ago. He was actually one of those characters that was acquired by DC Comics back in the 60s or 70s. He was in another whole... Kind of like, remember how Shazam was in another comic book authority, and then DC purchased the rights to Shazam and then incorporated him into the DC Comics? Yeah. That's the same for Peacemaker. So he kind of was his own thing, and then DC bought him, purchased the rights to him, and then incorporated him. But what Gunn is doing with Peacemaker is, and John Cena, the two are just...
I think he was like made for that role.
It's like it's the Ryan Reynolds of DC Comics.
Yeah,
love it.
It's the best way you can describe it. It's great. I can't wait to see season 2. And then James Gunn is set to not only write, but produce and direct. Produce, I believe, the next season. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's great. It's good stuff.
It's what you want. You want his baby, a character that was a D-level character, to get everything he can from James Gunn, and that's the reason why he's popular, is because of James Gunn. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
Pretty awesome to see that happening. But anyway, moving along here with the news, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight.
Yeah,
Lindsay Badger.
I've got a fun one here. You guys remember back in 2018, we had a pretty ambitious plan of Star Trek goodness.
I do recall something along those lines.
You know, the fourth one kind of including some time travel, team up with Chris Pine's Captain James T. Kirk and his late father, George Kirk, which was going to be played by Chris Hemsworth. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, however, both Pine and Hemsworth have reportedly pulled out of the project over money issues, and there hasn't been a Star Trek film since then. But that may be about to change. The Deadline is reporting that negotiations with Pine to get him back on board for Star Trek 4 is in the works. Additionally, the report indicates that Paramount wants to bring back Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto, yeah.
And as Spock, and Zoe Saldana as Uhura.
Uhura.
Oh, yes, thank you. And then Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy. Yay!
I like
Don Cho as Sulu, and Simon Pegg as Scotty.
Yes.
Scotty.
So good.
No deals are finalized yet, but the fact that the reboot cast is in play indicates that this sequel will remain in the Kelvin timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And other major updates from this story at Paramount is looking for a film Star Trek 4 for later this year.
Yep. Now,
yes.
so the Kelvin timeline, if you guys don't know, is there's 3 timelines in the Star Trek universe. Mm-hmm. You've got the Silver timeline, which is basically the original series, and then you've got kind of the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, all of that. That's one timeline, but then you also have this one, which is the Kelvin timeline, which basically is kind of like an alternate universe and an alternate reality. And they kind of explored that in Star Trek 2 when they had Khan on.
Yes.
It was kind of like a mixed, multiverse of characters, if you will. And that's pretty much, I mean, if you remember, Leonard Nimoy was in it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, why are you here in this timeline when you should be back in your timeline? So that whole thing, he was basically sucked into a time portal. If you remember, go back and watch your movie. His Spock's little cruiser ship was basically, he was interstellared. That's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. He was sucked through a black hole and breached, and then came out into the Kelvin timeline. So there you go. A little bit of backstory for you on that.
So what you're saying is they were doing the multiverse before Marvel.
The multiverse.
Oh yeah, Star Trek. Star Trek is.
I mean,
Star Trek's OG, dude.
This makes me want to go back and watch the other movies.
You got to remember.
I need some Chris Pine fix. I watched Into the Woods the other day, and I just really had a bad taste in my mouth after that because he's so pretty, but that movie was horrible, and I just want to replenish the palette.
Now, before we move on to the last article here, I want to let you guys know. Let me ask you a question. All right, this is for PopXers, and this is for the chat. Mm-hmm. What was the first science fiction series to include a multiverse?
Oh.
First science fiction series. Ooh, series.
I'll let me know when you want. Close. Go back further. Way further.
Huh. I don't know. Oh.
Doctor Who. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Gadur.
Okay. So I do believe our friends, the Brits across the pond, invented the multiverse. All right, so we have one more news article coming up for you right now, and I get the joys of leading this one here. A little bit of Moonlight for you. Anticipation for Moon Knight is at an all-time high following the release of last month's teaser trailer, and then, of course, Super Bowl Sunday's big spot. Did you guys see that one? Oh, my gosh. Isaac shared more of what drew him into Moon Knight while speaking with Empire Magazine on a new cover story. It sounded like he was ready to take a break from the franchise filmmaking after finishing all the work in the Star Wars sequel trilogies, as well as his frustrating experience on X-Men Apocalypse. However, Marvel's approach to the source material convinced him that that's literally what changed his mind, especially since it harkens back to the old school MCU in the best possible way. Now, he went on to say, in quote, "Often on these big movies, it can feel like you're building the plane on the runway," said Isaac. The idea of getting back into the handmade films, they are basically character studies. I was desperate for that feeling, and he got it. Now, he goes on to say, in quote, "It's the first legitimate Marvel character study since Iron Man." Wow. That's a big statement.
That's huge.
Isaac went on to add, "I thought maybe if I can hijack this thing and maybe this is the chance to do something really, really crazy and nutty on a major stage," end quote. Pretty cool, right? So, the first character study since Iron Man coming from Oscar Isaac. And we get this in a series in just a couple of months. When is it next month? March? May?
Yeah, March 28th, I think.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we have the Batman and then Marvel's version, maybe, of a Batman-like character, both coming out in March.
Bro.
And the hype surrounding Moon Knight and what all the cast just had to say about this show is that it is going to be unlike anything we have seen from the MCU,
Bro.
and that is phenomenal.
Bro, that makes me so excited.
Yeah.
That makes me so excited. Well, quickly before we go into this week's Retro Rewind, we got to talk about the Multiverse of Madness trailer that we saw for Doctor Strange at the Super Bowl ad. Now, my gosh, let's just talk about the elephant in the room right quick. Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart, the voice. The elephant in the room. We got to talk about this, guys.
The shoulder shot.
Now, my question here for you guys, and we discussed this really quick, but we had to end it because I wanted to save this discussion for the show.
Yes.
Is this the Charles Xavier from the X-Men franchise, or is this a variant in the multiverse that we've not seen before? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to say it is from the X-Men franchise because of the way they tied in the Spider-Man movies. It's going to be the exact same thing that they did they're going to do that same formula to pull in the pre-existing Marvel characters from the outlying studios.
Okay.
Well,
So I feel like that's how they're going to pull that and connect the
Sam
dots.
Raimi did direct both movies. Just saying.
I'll go in. You want me to go even crazier with it?
You're going. Come on, drop us some. Drop us some knowledge, man.
I'm gonna go even crazier and just full. I do not know what I'm saying is true, so this is just. And I've actually seen other people with the same theory, but I am completely on board from the second I saw it. In a piece of concept art that was leaked a couple of months ago, showing the exact same shot of Doctor Strange walking up with the Ultron bots, it showed Professor X in this huge golden chair. A floating golden chair. Now, what's the only other time we've seen Professor X in a golden glowing chair? It would be the 1990 X-Men series that they're now bringing back on Disney Plus, officially making it canon for Marvel.
The cartoon, right? Yeah.
The cartoon. So what I think is, this variant of Professor X is the Professor X from the X-Men cartoon in the 90s because it's the exact same chair as the chair in the concept art.
Whoa!
Yes.
Now, where's this concept art at?
It's floating around online, Joe. I'll try to find it and send it to you after this.
I would have like definitely dropped it
Yes.
below, but I didn't know. Some things you can't post. You got to be very cautious about posting because these film studios will pull your channel.
They will.
Yep.
Yes, they will.
You know, I got to be like, oh man, I got to walk a fine line here.
But I wouldn't be as convinced if Marvel didn't announce at D23 that they were bringing back the X-Men 90 show and doing a new thing, X-Men 97. That's literally the name of it, right? As their first animated show.
Wow.
Not officially MCU canon, but it could still be a different universe, and they could still be using that Professor X for live action.
Dude, that's mind blowing. What? That's mind blowing.
Or maybe there's two different variants of Professor X that we see in the
With
movie.
that chair.
Yeah.
With that
With
chair.
that chair.
The chat's blowing
That
up here.
connects it to lead on to future content.
Yeah, it looks like the chat over here. Shane is saying like, you know, it's going to be Evil Strange was a member of the Illuminati.
Sure.
Very plausible. Can we just talk about Zombie Strange for a minute?
Yeah, can we like break down the trailer? I know it was a short trailer, but there was a whole lot packed in it. So we like start with him waking up in bed with nightmare
having dreams, and then he's talking to Wanda.
Yeah, and then he's talking to Wanda about the multiverse.
And then Wanda's seeing herself.
Yeah.
From Westview.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, there's so much to unpack. Like, are they opening up the zombieverse in live action?
See,
and then they throw him in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the Illuminati. I think that's them summoning him to their court, if you will, whatever.
My question is, are there other versions of Strange? Obviously, there's other versions of Wanda, or because we see in the trailer, there's one portal that Strange goes through that at one point he starts to turn into an animated character. So I think at some point in the movie, he goes into the what if world. And if that's the case, then does he turn into a zombie when they go to the zombie world? Does he turn into a different version in a different version world?
You know what? That ties in the what if series into the movie even
Dude,
further. Yes.
It's all connected.
It's just a frame, but it's in there.
They're blowing my lid right now, man. You know, we can go on about this trailer, guys.
I just want to break down this trailer frame by frame.
I do.
Super geeky about it.
Just pause it. Every interval, just like boom,
I just want to. Yeah.
And the fact that he's also wearing. I don't know if you guys knew this. He's wearing the Defender outfit.
Yes, class.
So with the red crest on his chest. That is
Right.
That is the Marvel Defenders.
In pre-show, we did mention the battle that is being set up for conclusion of the House of M
Yeah.
as well,
Yes.
with the Professor X.
Oh, Shane brings a
full-on
good
storyline.
point. He believes that the Doom bots are the ones escorting him into the court of the Illuminati.
Oh.
It could be, but
I
are
think
they
it's Tom
introducing?
Cruise's Iron Man.
Man, that's
Oh, let's go.
I'd be all right with that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, was that Imperial Iron Man? Is that what they're calling that?
Yeah, Imperial Superior. It's one
Superior,
of those.
yeah, Superior.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There have been a lot of Tom Cruise rumors for about 2 years now. And
Yeah, he's
so
in
when
it.
I saw
You
those
know
bots,
he's in it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we got our glimpse of King flashed through as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's definitely, well, we already knew it was going to be in there.
And
yeah.
it's from the writers of Loki. The writers of Loki wrote this movie, so they're definitely tying that in.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
bro. Well, guys,
It's all coming
I
together.
want to know what you guys think about the Doctor Strange trailer. Drop it in the comments. Leave us a comment. Post back on our social media on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Let us know what you think about this trailer. Unpack it. If there's something we missed, let us know about it. If there's something that you have seen that's just kind of like, whoa, what's this? Also, let us know about it. But with all that said, we're going to go ahead and move on into the Retro Rewind this week. Are you guys ready for a little Police Academy? Because I kind of know I am.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
don't go anywhere. What in the world? All right, we'll be right back. Retro Rewind coming your way. Police Academy. Retro Rewind Police Academy, dialing it all the way back to 1984.
Wow.
And I had a barrel of fun rewatching this bad boy. It is currently streaming on HBO Max. If you guys didn't get the memo, go watch it later after the show tonight and just laugh your tail off. A great movie with some crazy humor. It's definitely right up there with some of the 80s cult classic comedies that came out of the era. And this suggestion came from our very own Lindsay Badger.
Yeah.
Lindsay, opening it up on the Retro Rewind, why did you choose the Police Academy? Give us the spiel.
Oh, okay. I will totally break it down for you guys. I don't know, cable kids, right?
Yeah,
If
true.
you have your standard cable package, you always had that like once a month or once a year, twice a year, you would get like the free HBO, right? And so, of course, in that time, you have your VCR and you record every possible movie you can fit on a VCR tape.
Stacks of VHS tapes.
Stacks and stacks, and that thing does not stop until you get every movie you could possibly squeak out of that free subscription, so you don't have to worry about it, and you watch those tapes on loop. This is how childhood works in the 80s.
There you go. Yep.
Police Academy was one of those movies that they always, without fail, played on HBO all the time.
So good.
And there was 4 or 5 different movies in this film series.
There's
so you didn't
6,
get
I believe.
6.
And then there
so
was a
you're
series.
Constantly
Yeah.
getting fed. You're constantly getting fed these Police Academy movies because they're pushing one after another and after another, and then it's comedy gold. It's that slapstick, not to be taken
Cheesy.
seriously.
Yeah.
Mountains of cheese. You're not there for the storyline. You're there for the jokes.
Correct. Yeah.
Some of them a little more adult than what a child should probably be watching.
True.
But in the 80s,
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why I picked this movie, because it is iconic in the memory of me looking back and watching movies as a child. And the sound effects that the guy made through was just
Yep.
something
Michael,
that really
Winslow, yeah.
yes, lit up children's imaginations and got them excited.
It did me.
You know, you always wanted to figure out how in the world did he make all of those sounds, and then you would like try to emulate that as a kid on the playground, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I picked this movie. I feel like we would be doing a disservice to the 80s if we did not talk about at least one of these movies.
True.
While doing the rewinds.
No, you're right on. And you know what? Yeah, Lindsay, you picked a pretty good banger of a film. This one, it kind of slipped my radar, but I forgot how delightful it was. And one of the things I loved about this film is that each character in this new wave of the police academy cadets get their own time for the story to kind of unravel. Whether you're the quiet, squeaky, hello, how you doing? Or you're Mahoney, or you're Hightower. Oh my gosh, that dude was like, it's so funny. He would just push the wall down. He wouldn't even
Beast
climb
of a
it.
man.
Oh, dude, he's such a stud. But yeah, I have to agree with you here. John Parfenbarger in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. What's up, John?
Steve Guttenberg ruled. I mean, I can't. He ruled the '80s. He did.
Yeah, he did.
And he was the man, the myth, the legend. But what a great. Is Police Academy considered part of the National Lampoon family? I was curious about that because I think it's from the same creative team that wrote a lot of the stuff for National Lampoon, but I don't know specifically about the backstory of it. So that's where I'm going to pull from you, our PopX family, to help me out with that. But there's definitely some crazy moments. Austin, what are some moments that just kind of like threw out at you on this one?
I love the main storylines are fun, right? But for me, it's the in betweens with Michael Winslow.
Yeah.
It's the in betweens.
Yeah.
It is the when he's walking by all of the recruits and he's going, and the guy turns around and looks, and he's doing that again. And then when they're all sitting in the classroom and he's somebody's calling him on the office, pages of the office. Yeah. It's just the first time you see him sitting there in the chair and having someone continue to turn around. Like, those were the moments for me. It's like we don't get stuff like this anymore. Like, we don't get this ridiculous Jim Carrey.
I was getting ready to say the name Jim
silly
Carrey.
Off the wall.
Yeah, he carried it straight into the '90s type humor, and I love that kind of humor. Right, the story, itself, it's not the most complex story we've ever seen, and some of the things were ridiculous. Excuse me, but overall, man, this sense of like when he pulls in and hits the lady and she flies through the air and it never acknowledges it again. I'm just like, that's the random and ridiculous humor that I think is fantastic.
You know what this reminded me of? You guys, I know you've seen it, Airplane.
Yes, absolutely.
It's that same style of comedy.
It reminded me of
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Michael Winslow was in Spaceballs, which is fantastic.
Yes, he was actually.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
Did you guys know Michael Winslow was on AGT 2 seasons ago?
Yes,
I heard that.
There's a story about that.
There is.
I don't know if you want to break it down, but yeah, I did know that he came back, and that's.
Lindsay, you were going to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off, sweetheart.
No, you're fine. I was just saying we haven't talked about Tackleberry because he is one of the most beloved characters of the entire season. And I love how they introduce his character as the night security guard, and they're throwing him a surprise birthday party, and he shoots up the place
in the dark. So he's shooting, dude.
Oh my gosh,
that boy's messed up.
But I mean, the of all the characters, I think Hooks is my favorite, and she doesn't get nearly as much time on screen as I think she needs in the first movie, but she does get more screen time later. So I in the other movies, so she definitely gets her shine in the spotlight. But excuse me, sir.
You have your main starting cast on this.
Yes.
But for me, one of the guys that cracked me up was not Steve Guttenberg. It was the Chief.
Oh my God, he's the best.
Dude, he's so disconnected from everything in his little goldfish. Yes. It was just amazing. And I'm not even going to discuss it, but I'm just going to say this. Lindsay and I were discussing this earlier. The podium scene.
Oh my God.
It was so classic how they turned that. Yeah, how
As
they set it up, how it executed, and then how it circled back around at the end at graduation. That is classic comedy.
It is
classic comedy.
It's so it's so 80s in its own beautiful way, but again, it's that off the wall style humor that I miss in movies. And Police Academy has just, I mean, it is one of the OGs when it comes to that style, with your airplanes, with your classic 70s and 80s
Spaceballs, etc. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, this franchise, I mean, the movies get a little, I think the first one kind of sets the bar, and a lot of them are kind of chasing after the original because I don't think Steve Guttenberg comes back in the second one, but I don't think after the third one, I think there's a period there where he doesn't come back anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
is his quality of acting necessarily needed for the franchise? Probably not. I mean, you can recruit more and stuff like that, but it's definitely spend some time going and watching these. These are really fun, actually, and there's a lot of them. I don't know how many is on HBO Max. I think only the original one's on HBO Max right now.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so all in all, I had a really great time with this one. Lindsay, you did a good job in choosing this one. I laughed. The podium scene, I had to rewind and watch it, and again, it was just one of those moments. I had tears. I think I texted both of you guys.
The facial expression of Lassard was just.
Oh yeah.
How many takes do you think that they had to do for that?
It's a movie, the cast and the crew are just having a blast in filming something like this.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it's so good. But with all of that said, is there any moments you guys wanted to highlight specifically before we gave the official rating review, or?
I'm trying to think. The Latin guy that always had a million girls on him, and he gets caught.
Yes.
And you're like, oh God, he is just done. And then instead, it turns around to be he's kind of won the prize.
He definitely did on that one, didn't he?
Wowzers.
That was interesting.
He was a fun character.
He was definitely. They're all unique in their own way.
They're so unique.
But really great movie. I think, Lindsay, it's honorable if we let you go first on the review of Police Academy, since this was your choice. So take it away.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put it at like a 7.2. It's not the best story, but the comedy makes up for it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it right at a 7.2.
You can't rate this movie on the actual storyline.
No,
because it's just so stupid.
It is. But for a comedy movie, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Our residential film critic, Austin Burke.
Right in line. I'm a 7. This is, if you're a first timer watching 2022, you may get offended or be upset. But if this is your style of humor, it is definitely one that will it vibe with me, man. 7 out of 10.
It vibe with me so much. I'm going to give it a 7.5. Just because of the podium scene. Because it was just baller. I mean, that was the best 5 minutes of my life watching that whole scene unwind. Yes. But guys, listen, what is your score of Police Academy? Have you seen it? Are you planning on seeing it? Remember, it's on HBO Max right now, streaming, if you have that service. What is your score? Leave it in the chat. Let us know on social media, and give us a response and a comment back, and we will share it.
I would say if you haven't seen it in 10 years, just watch it for fun.
Yeah, refresh your brain on it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's good stuff.
Good job, Lindsay Badger, on this one.
Well,
I needed those good laughs in the wee hours of the night. Thanks to you. I appreciate that. Alrighty, moving on, guys. We are going to roll the spoiler alert warning for the Book of Boba Fett. So we're going to officially get into now the show's main heavy hitter, if we will. So we are going to go ahead and roll that. We'll be right back, so don't go anywhere.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been warned.
You have been warned, and this is the Book of Boba Fett coming to you right now on PopXcast. What an amazing series we didn't know we needed.
It's true.
What a delight. Every episode was a true delight in watching. I feel that there was so much that was explored in the world of Mandalore and the religion of Mandalore. Also, too, the episodes, once you get to episode 5 and 6, that you didn't really even know that you're like, what? You're seeing things, and I don't want to give it away right off the bat, but there was moments in this that my mouth was completely on the floor. I was like, what? So, with that said, we're going to kind of do it in sections. I think, episodes 1 through 4 focus basically on essentially Boba Fett after the Sarlacc pit. So, it's really cool. When me and Alex were watching this, Alex, my wife, I was like, before you watch this series with me, let me take you to Return of the Jedi to the fight of when they're in Tatooine and they're fighting. What is his name? Shoot. What's his name? Big guy. Help me out.
Jabba?
Thank you. Lord, why did I forget that name? What in the world? I'm showing my age here.
It happens to me.
Well, I was thinking about
constantly,
Jabba's like land speeder type thing.
Yeah.
And
so Jabba the Hutt.
I went to that particular thing and I was showing her. I was like, "You got to remember this." So that scene where he goes down into the sarlacc pit, and then I immediately went straight into episode 1.
Oh, perfect.
And she was just like, "How did you know to do that?" I'm like, "Well, because you're a nerd, and I'm a nerd, and nerds what nerds do. You want to get the full story, you go back to source material."
That's right.
And so it was really cool. It is the way. But one of the things that was surprising things out of this that just blew my mind was how he fell in love with the sand people of Tatooine.
Yeah.
And was embraced by them. I just loved that. I mean, he was having these visions while he was in the back of tank, healing himself, and these flashpoints of him going back, and it was sad the way things ended, because you had the mind spice traders that essentially we thought were the ones that caused these people to be dead. Long story short, he's going off. He's actually trained by them in their own native way, and is given basically the path of a warrior to them, and is given his own staff because he can fight exactly like them. He's part of them. He's one of them.
Yes.
And I thought that whole first 4 episodes, it was beautiful in how they broke that down and truly understood the heart. You kind of see the sand people. I don't know what their specific name is. The sand people of Tatooine. I don't know.
Tuskens or
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, Tusken Raiders. Yeah.
So I should know that, but I didn't.
I know. I can't blanking on the name right now.
I call them the sand people, but yeah, they're not Jawas.
No.
They are the Tusken Raiders. But wasn't that a cool? Let's talk about that whole first 4 episodes right there.
I was absolutely in love with the first 4.
Yeah.
It sucked me in. It made me fall in love with the tribe. It made me. You really went on that journey with him. I think it's the coolest the way he got out of the sarlacc. That was insane.
Yes.
The fact that he pulled himself up out of the sand and then was starting, being dragged by these people as a prisoner, and then eventually became one of them is such a cool journey. That was depicted so beautifully. And the thing is that there's no speaking. Not really. There's very, very little dialogue through those episodes at all, because they're speaking this alien language that you don't understand. So to be able to tell the story that powerful with very little dialogue is definitely a feat in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to the acting chops. I mean, I'm kind of reminded a lot of like the Blue Man world, how you're able to communicate without speaking.
Yes.
And the Tusken Raiders did that. I mean, that was their language wasn't in their voice. Their language was in their actions. Mm-hmm. And to understand them, they were just such a close-knit community. And the tragedy, as we're going up to episode 4, Boba Fett goes into the city of Mos Espa. And when he comes back, he finds that the entire little village of the Tusken Raiders have been decimated, destroyed.
That broke my heart.
Even the younglings were killed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Not the younglings.
Not the younglings.
Not the younglings.
It was sad, but also too, it was a turning point in the story of Boba Fett, because none of us could have foreseen what Jon Favreau was working up in his mind, how Boba Fett, a bounty hunter who was feared and revered in the original trilogy, is now, I want to say, more of a mellow individual, learning his skills as a Tusken Raider and being able to wield that staff and defend himself in other ways in combat that he wasn't able to before, with or without his Mandalorian armor. Correct. It was amazing to see that transition of him and the character arc from coming to just relying on his suit to not relying on his suit. Even when he, at the end of the series, he was vulnerable because Cad Bane tore his mask off.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean,
but he still
just,
had his staff, so he just wailed on him.
Boom. Let's fast forward to that particular moment of Cad Bane. Well, you know what? Let's back up because I don't want to go too far. I want to make sure that we're going in sequence here because I'm get ahead of myself. I get so excited.
Austin, what did you think about the first 4? Let's hear a little bit from him.
Yeah. The moment he comes back and they're all dead, it almost reminded me of what we got in Attack of the Clones when Anakin comes back and his mother's dead.
I had that exact feeling.
Ooh, I got those vibes as well. Yes.
It's the same sort of vibe, and all of the flashback stuff worked really well for me. My issue with the first 4 was the present stuff. It wasn't very interesting for me. I wasn't vibing, and every time we would go into one of the flashbacks and he's sitting in the tank, I'm like, yes, let's just stay here. Let's just stay here because everything with that story was so beautifully told, and we finally understood the origins of how he escaped the pit and all of these things. But when we would go back to the present, the conflict for me just wasn't as fascinating as it is, at least in the final 3 episodes. And then, especially when we get the biker gang, I didn't really like the biker gang. I didn't like that episode.
The biker gang was, for me.
I agree with you, Austin, that the present day conflict, like, as soon as Jabba was gone, why was there not more drama?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It was just like, okay, I'm here now, and I'm just going to stroll through the streets, and nobody's going to try to,
I think the drama, the premise was set because, and I didn't mean to interrupt you and Austin.
Go ahead.
But
No, you're fine.
I wanted to make sure. I think the reason purposely was Boba wanted to assert himself as one of the main not patriarchs, but one of the main leaders of Tatooine.
Yes.
Whereas particularly Mos Espa, Mos Eisley, and all of that, he wanted to create a perfect, harmonious union. And so the first 4 kind of focused on the spice traders. And really, we didn't need to know a lot of information about the spice traders until we needed to know a lot about the spice traders. But then when we learned about it, we learned that all the public figures and the mayors and all the people that were in major roles were allowing the trade to commence while being paid under the, you know what I'm saying? So I get you, though. The first 4 is like, let's just stay in the past. I don't need all that present stuff. But
I felt like it could have been maybe... I felt like everything that was told in the present in the first 4 episodes and do away with the biker stuff could have been told maybe in one episode in its entirety. Like devote one episode to that and the other episodes maybe just do flashbacks because I would have been so happy if that was truly what the series was. And it was for the most part. And I think, it does at the end of the day make it to where I enjoyed the first 4 episodes, but I just wasn't vibing with it maybe as much as I wanted to. Because when we would come back, I just felt that storyline was a bit more dull and prolonged than what I needed it to be.
No, I 1,000% agree with you on that one. Yeah. Then we get to episode 5. And we were teased it in episode 4 when we hear the...
Yeah. Oh, God.
And I'm like, wait, what's going to happen here?
What series am I watching again?
And then all of a sudden...
the title.
episode 5 has... no Boba Fett in it.
No.
That confused the hell out of me.
It confused me too.
I was like, is this a trailer?
But the book of Boba Fett, I guess, isn't necessarily about Boba Fett. It's about the ways of the Mandalorian and the ways of maybe leaving something that we're familiar with, the religion and the tradition, and kind of creating your own path was kind of the vibe I got with it because... Episode 5 dealt with, we pick up with Mando, he's still doing bounty jobs and getting paid money, and then is basically, he goes to the main Mandalorian.
But why didn't they save that for the second season of Mandalorian? Why'd they put it in the Boba Fett series? That's what confuses me. I liked seeing it. I just felt like it was out of place with where it was placed. In release.
It was weird. I was like, I feel like I was watching The Mandalorian. I was like,
that one specific episode picked up right where we left off at the end of season 1, and I'm like, okay, this would have been a perfect episode to start season 2 with. Not Boba Fett.
True.
Absolutely.
No, it would have been. You're absolutely right. I kind of feel that.
But I love me some Grogu, so I ain't complaining.
I wasn't complaining either. I mean, especially by the time we get to episode 6 and we're seeing full-on Luke Skywalker here. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I kind of feel the Book of Boba Fett, if you look at it from the perspective, not just Boba Fett, but Mandalorians as a whole. You could even retitle the series The Book of Mandalorians.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Just real quick, I think this whole everybody's problems are solved with a title change. I think a title change would have solved everyone's problems, because the Book of Boba Fett, you think it's going and
focused on that specific character.
Exactly, and
Yes.
and it bothered me as well. I won't lie to you, but with a title change, maybe Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, something like that, I think it would have solved everyone's issues.
I think you're right.
yeah, I think if they would have just switched the title to The Book of Mandalorian.
I mean, I feel like
Or-
overall the story came back together at the end and it
It did.
made sense, but it's just like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah. I mean, it was
confused.
basically a deeper character study into Boba Fett and Mando, and specifically Episode 5 threw me for a loop, because I'm sitting here and I was sitting here waiting for maybe Mando's going to reunite with Boba Fett, and in this episode he really didn't.
No.
It was just like basically he took his staff that he got in Mandalorian season 2, and which was made of the precious metal that's indestructible, and cast it into a chainmail for Grogu, which was amazing and fun to see.
Did you guys like the battle with the darksaber?
Oh, it's awesome!
That
Yeah,
It's pretty
was
baller.
phenomenal.
It's
Super
pretty baller.
powerful.
The darksaber is got a lot of history in Star Wars canon, and it was interesting to see that, because why was Moff Gideon able to wield it so effortlessly when Mando can't really even pick it up and swing
He
it?
struggles with it. Yeah.
Struggling, because I think it's more of a
I'm glad that they included that explanation of how it actually works and the effect it has on its wielder.
yeah. Derek Smith over in the chat's like, I love all the backstory of Boba Fett, but I didn't love all the direction that they took him in, making him a reformed bounty hunter trying to be a quote-unquote good guy. He went on to say, this is real-time, guys, in the chat room. Boba Fett has always been a mysterious anti-hero that basically took the edge off, and Fennec did all the dirty work that Boba...
did.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
She definitely did.
Yeah, I get you. Well, I mean, he's an aged actor too, so there is that. So, Episode 5 was basically picking right up on after Season 2 Mandalorian. It could have been an opener for Season 3 Mandalorian, technically.
Yeah.
But we get to Episode 6, and this is the one that really blew my lid. Very slow-paced episode. The only decent thing that we had about this, there was more build-up and hype about the spice trade, but then we have Luke Skywalker. We literally visit the planet where Luke is training Grogu, and it was crazy, right? And they're building the Jedi Temple.
Yes, the robots with the rocks. That
I
was
mean,
crazy.
is that the temple? Is that the temple in the last movie?
Yes.
That
Yes,
was
the
destroyed.
one- yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grogu was intended to be the very
first pupil,
student of
yeah.
that school.
You're right.
Yeah.
Grogu would have died when Kylo Ren attacked.
Man,
Yes.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
maybe.
That's crazy
You're
to
right.
think about all that. So, Episode 6, I mean, was one of aside from seeing Luke Skywalker, so slow.
Can we talk
yeah.
about
It was a slow
quickly
episode.
when Luke offers to help him remember that flashback of the Battle of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Who are we looking at?
Order 66.
Yes.
You're looking at Order 66
66.
when, he gave the command to wipe them out. All of them.
All of them.
So, execute
Can we
Order
talk about how
66.
incredible the technology is on Luke Skywalker? in this episode?
Amazing.
Dude, the CGI was ridiculous.
It's incredible. I mean,
If you follow Mark on social media, he did share out a little bit of how and there's some articles out there too of how they accomplish that. It's actually an actor that has similar features, but not obviously identical. And he's wearing the wig that matches that time era. And then they're taking not just Mark Hamill's face, but the actor's face and actually merging them together.
The same stuff they did for Ghostbusters
Yes.
Afterlife with
Yes.
Yeah.
So that it
absolutely.
looks basically flawless from any angle. And the little fist bump that they did, that was not supposed to be in it. That was totally like on the fly.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The actor was quoted. He was like, I didn't know that it was going to be in there until it was in there.
Go ahead, Austin.
I was just going to say that the Luke Grogu dynamic was one of the coolest. And, I think it's beautiful how they take the Yoda training Luke storyline, bring it full circle.
Yes.
Luke is essentially training this version of Yoda, telling stories about Yoda to Grogu, and some of the most beautiful and just mesmerizing yin-yang type of I felt a little Cobra Kai in there while I was watching this bond.
He speaks in riddles.
Yes, and I thought that was so freaking beautiful. Like their scenes, I almost felt like I was meditating with Luke Skywalker as I was watching this.
Even the scenes where he's
chill.
taking his hand and he's swooping him up as they're walking through the bamboo or whatever.
I loved it.
Dude, it was so serene.
It was amazing.
It was captivating. For me, I will say parts of that episode were a little slow in terms of the continuity of the book of Boba Fett. Like, I had to remind myself, why is this in book of Boba Fett when this should be
exactly. I was just like, what is this?
But hey, I don't produce this, so I don't know.
Right.
Did I enjoy watching in Luke Skywalker training? Oh my God! Yeah, I was having my brain was melting.
I don't hate what happened. I'm still just confused on why it happened.
Yeah, I don't hate what happened. I mean, it looked beautiful, and to see Luke. I mean, I was wondering at the build up at the beginning, are we going to see Luke? And then, daggone, 3/4 of the entire episode is Luke Skywalker, and I'm like, all right, I guess okay, I see. Yeah. And then Ahsoka Tano coming out too. We get to see her as well from.
John says I could watch Grogu read the phone book and I would be captivated.
Yeah,
this is true.
John,
this is true.
That's pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it was a great one.
I love how he handled the training ball droid thing.
Oh yeah,
that was great
to bring back.
Yes,
that was interesting.
I mean, he took a little nappy nap afterwards.
Took a little nap, yeah. Well, let's fast forward to the finale. We find out at the end of this episode, in episode 6, it is revealed that Cad Bane is the mastermind behind the spice trade.
Man, the makeup on him was badass.
Oh, and that was a physical actor in that costume, ladies and gentlemen. That you're seeing a picture of Cad Bane right now over on the live stream, guys.
God, he was so creepy.
His voice was just
so creepy,
dominating. Like
amazing.
I mean, these are practical effects, guys. Used on a human being with the physiology of a nose. I mean, they're pulling out some Voldemort kind of stuff here. Truly amazing that we get Cad Bane, who definitely from the Clone Wars, if you're fans of that original show, I found it extremely poetic. Cad Bane spent his entire life killing clones to be killed by a clone.
Poetic justice.
Wow, that's pretty deep, y'all.
So here's my issue with the Cad Bane inclusion. I love the fact that he was included.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he was end of one episode and gets killed in the next. That bothered me, because if they maybe would have introduced Cad Bane at the beginning of this series, given him a little bit more in terms of his dynamic with Boba, because the confrontation at the end was beautiful between he and Boba, and the death was beautiful, but giving him 3 to 4 more episodes of oh my god, and then final battle. Oh, just imagine the impact as opposed to end of one episode, final battle.
And you're dead.
And
you're dead.
Really, that bothered me, and I loved the inclusion of the character, and I loved the death. So I had no problem with his screen time. I just wanted more screen time for Cad Bane.
I agree with you. I think that they should have not killed him off so quickly and carried him over maybe into Mandalorian Season 3 as an antagonist or a future antagonist.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about a heavy-hitting villain here. To be killed off in one swoop. I mean, I don't know about that again.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, so very quick. Yeah, you're quick. But we get one of the most iconic scenes in this finale. Boba Fett riding a frickin' Rancor.
Oh, that was so cool.
Dude.
That was rad.
That was baller.
That was rad.
That was pretty cool. I was like, if we get Boba riding a Rancor, I'm going to jump out of my seat. And daggone it, I jumped out of my seat.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
That Favreau feller, he knows how to get Joe excited.
He got me.
And
it don't take much this day and age.
The shot of Boba and Mando where the camera's going around them and they're both firing their blasters.
That was great.
That was good.
How cool was that?
Good vibes, man. It reminded me a little bit of like Obi-Wan and back in the what was it, Phantom Menace and Qui-Gon, when they were like back to back doing lightsaber duels and stuff. It was
people were trying to say that some of the shots in the final battle were a little cheesy, but I think of the prequels and the cheesy droid noises and the cheesy shots we got there, and then you think to the original trilogy. And
I think it's just staying true to the theme and the feel of the show. I didn't feel like that was so. It was not over the top.
I mean, A New Hope was all of our team trying to survive a trash compactor and making jokes about it while it was mushing. And like, this cheese, dude.
Jeremy,
come on.
Going back to Cad Bane, Jeremy Stoltz really creates a cool statement here. He's like, his chest plate still showed life signs. I don't think he was dead.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'd love that.
That's a nice little attention to detail there, Jeremy.
Zoom in there.
See, when they show the tank, the tank at the end with our other character, Timothy Oliphant, his character, who was still alive, the post-credit scene. I thought that was going to be Cad Bane. It should have been Cad Bane.
Yeah. Wow. There was Rancor had his King Khan moment. Yes, he did. I thought it was so sweet that Grogu was the one that silenced him, that calmed him down.
That was so sweet. At least it gave him a purpose to be in the series.
It's like David and Goliath. He just walked right up to him, man.
Sorry, I was waiting patiently for the purpose of having Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett, and that was the only reason of legit storytelling.
Right.
And I accept.
Right.
Bring your hand up.
Yeah. You did good. You did good, kid.
You did good, buddy.
You did good.
When he jumps at Mando though, when he first sees him again, when they're on the
oh my god, I think I did cry. There was moistness in my eye holes.
Oh, I love moistness in eye holes. That's my favorite thing.
That's not right.
That's my favorite.
And you know what happens anytime Grogu gets on screen? Because I watch the show with my husband. It's not just me. Every time Grogu comes on, my husband
he looks at you.
He looks at me.
Oh,
he knows that.
He knows that's your critter.
This guy is my buddy.
That's your buddy.
He's my
right
buddy.
there. That's your man. Grogu is pretty awesome. You know, all in all, though, like I said at the opening of this segment on Book of Boba Fett, it's the series we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that perspective, we're just getting a lot of fan service and eye candy and stuff that we didn't know can be conceptualized until we saw this. Was there some continuity issues in the beginning? I think that the spice trade, one of the craziest scenes, remember he was with the Tusken Raiders and they were overlooking Luke's home being raided?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You remember that?
That was pretty cool.
That was interesting to see that perspective from that. Mm-hmm. So, with all the characters that we got and everything in between, I thought it was definitely an interesting take on the series and the characters that we love. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to see what happens in Mando Season 3 when that's renewed. Pedro Pascal is coming back up. And
where do you think that's going to lead?
I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going to take it. They're going to have to do something because there's going to have to be a deeper dive into the world of the Jedi, or maybe even the Dark Republic, or something.
I think they'll definitely go back and revisit the other Mandalorians, the original.
Yeah,
original crew
that
they met up with.
Yeah,
that's probably where that season's going to lead, is some adventure with them.
I want to see more Moff Gideon too. I love
Moff Gideon. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I love that actor, man. I always see him as Gus from Breaking Bad, but
yes,
he's going to be at the Lexington Comic-Con.
Are you going?
I'm going. I'm getting his autograph.
Are you really, man?
Yeah,
dude.
Can't wait.
You know what you need to do? A buddy of mine, Matt Sanders, who's been on here before from he will find a still. He will print a still of one of his favorite scenes from that actor, and instead of having him sign a stock card, of his photo. He'll find the favorite scene, like
That's such a good idea.
that's what he does, and he creates a little card around it, like it's a little, essentially a trading card.
Oh, very cool.
And you can do a little graphic around it, make it look like Tops, and Gustavo, or something, whatever his favorite role is from that. But do something like that, and maybe go to like Kinko's and get it printed, or one of those print shops. Dude, there you go, man. You got your little
boys, we did
card.
not talk even 1 second about the Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah.
We had such an investment of time rebuilding that sucker, and it was beautiful.
I truly enjoyed, too, the backstory of, what's the curly-headed lady's name?
The mechanic?
The mechanic. She's so awesome.
She was also in Into the Woods. I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but get out of my life.
It was really
Sorry.
cool. It was cool to see that, though. I mean, we've got something, an Imperial Naboo Starfighter, literally right off of...
so beautiful. I was just like, how does he get in that tiny cockpit with all that armor on?
The little bubble was for Grogu in the end.
Oh.
Where R2 would have been, or where a droid would have been, was for Grogu.
Oh my God, so cute.
Little child seat.
Little child seat.
I do like the new ride that Mando has.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it's chrome.
It's not a Razor Crest.
Yeah, it's not.
It'll grow on you.
It'll grow on
But I love how all the little Jawas were very much involved with helping build that, and so he kind of built a relationship with them as they were building it, which was really kind of cool.
Yeah, Jeremy's chiming in and said they don't cover it very well, but Mando takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. That being said, Boba spent nearly a long time with the Sand People. Yeah, he did. He probably is about 4 years or so.
Yeah,
I think
definitely a long time, multiple years.
Yeah, you're right. I think that whole duration that he was with the Tusken Raiders was about that time. Very interesting. So we're going to go ahead and give our review of this as we're going to wrap this up. We can talk all night on Book of Boba Fett, guys. This has been...
That's true.
It's a great series. There was some issues, technicalities in it in terms of continuity, but I think honestly, I think it was awesome. Jedi, okie dokie then. Alrighty then.
No.
Yeah, but
it's a reference to The Office, just in case you guys didn't.
Yeah, I know that is a reference to The Office. I declare. That's funny. I don't care who you are. Oh, God. She's not having it. All right, alrighty then.
She doesn't like
okay.
The Office. Not an Office fan, Lindsay.
That was a user. Don't do that to the users.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's okay. So, guys, you ready to rate it?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
We're gonna rate it.
We're gonna rate it and rate it. Austin Burke, you got first up.
I think I'm going to go probably lower than people expect, but it's more of some of the things I think they could have improved on. I'm going to go 70%, which is still, I mean,
that's decent though. That's yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. I think the series could have been better, but I think the standout moments are things I will revisit until the end of time. I mean, to give us a series, and see, that's kind of my outlook on that. It's like, yeah, sure, it didn't fit in a Boba Fett show, but if I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. If I enjoyed it, I'm going to go back to it. I don't care what show it is. So a lot of these moments and things I am going to go back to. And I do think they've turned Boba Fett into, because for me, he's always just kind of been a little bit of an overrated character, to be honest with you. I didn't really care about him. Now I do. And that's because of the show, and that's because of Mandalorian.
There's heart behind what he does. Yes. Yeah. Lindsay.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna put a 7.6 on this one.
Okay.
I feel like it almost felt like two separate series to me that were mashed into one, and that's kind of where I'm struggling internally with this.
Yep.
I feel there are so many positive things to pull out of this. Amazingly over the top, like belongs in a cinema, amazing stuff happening in a series, which is bananas. I feel that I just lost my train of thought.
No, I get you.
Anyways, but I feel like overall it was pretty good, but there's a lot of blanks that were filled. There's a lot of questions that were answered that maybe necessarily didn't need to be answered, but they were anyways. So for that, I am thankful that they did this project and they gave it to the fans, whether it's fan service or not fan service. It doesn't matter. It was an enjoyable series nonetheless.
Well handled. Well handled.
It was enjoyable, and despite some of the discrepancies and things like that, and kind of the slow start to what Austin was referring to as the present time matters as opposed to the past. There was I kind of feel that could have been handled a little bit more. Like everything could have been just piled into one episode. I feel that. So I'm going to go with a 7.5 on my review, kind of right in the halfway point. Yeah. I didn't want to go a full 8, but those scenes that we did get with Ahsoka Tano, Luke Skywalker, and Mando and Grogu were just beautiful. I mean, the Rancor going through Mos Espa, destroying everything. It was just awesome to see all of that. And so, yes, I believe that 7.5 is good. Now, listen, John over the chat room's already gave his. He's like, episodes 5 and 6, 10 out of 10. The rest, 5 out of 10.
Okay.
That, I can respect
2 ratings
that.
for 2 series. There you go.
But, Lindsay, it goes back to what you just said. You kind of feel that's 2 different series in one. And that's why it's a little confusing at times. Like, what are we watching here? Which show
Here's
are we
where
watching?
I'll go with it at the end of the day, though. Which one handled fan service better? The Book of Boba Fett or The Rise of Skywalker? I'm going to go The Book of Boba Fett all day because it was more focused, way less jumbled than The Rise of Skywalker, and it's kind of doing what that new trilogy wanted to do, these TV shows are. And I hope that continues with Obi-Wan. I hope they continue to put story first as opposed to shoehorning a bunch of things in. And I think Boba Fett, even though I had my issues, I think Boba Fett did that at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Alicia gives it a 6 out of 10. So Jeremy Stoltz is going with a 78% on his overall.
Nice. Well done.
Very good scores, guys. Keep those scores coming. We do appreciate it. But with all of that said, we're going to wrap up this episode of PopX Cast. And, man, it has been a glorious episode of just diving deep into that nerdy goodness and all of that great stuff. So, Austin Burke, if you will do the honors, lead us out, man.
I'm Austin Burke. You can find me on Twitter and Instagrams at the Burkinator.
What's happening?
And on Letterboxd and on YouTube and sometimes
TikTok and
Tinder. Nope, don't use that.
No,
I'm married.
don't
We are
use
part
that.
of the...
What?
Don't use that.
You got to delete that account, Austin.
No dating apps for me. My brother has a Tinder account. It's called the Michelin Man, and he just posts pictures of the Michelin Man. Anyway, that's literally all it is.
Just don't know.
It says, "Hey girl, I'm gonna make you tired," because he's the tire guy. Anyway, we are part of the newly formed creative group known as the Creative Multiverse. I shouldn't have said that. We, for more great media content, artwork, and more, find us on Facebook groups and Discord at the Creative Multiverse. If you are a creative, produce content, or have a talent, we want to see it and would like for you to share it for us in the multiverse.
What's happening?
Wow. Well done.
What's happening?
You guys know the Michelin Man.
I'm tired. What? Lindsay, if you can,
I have
my
other
dear.
Michelin-related
don't.
one-liners that I'm not using right now.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my god.
Not doing it. Connect with us, PopXcast, on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and all of those places. The handle is the same. It's at PopXcast. We do have email if you so choose to do it that way, popxcast@gmail.com. And of course, everything you ever want to know about us as a podcast, a show, and people are on our website, popxcast.com.
You can even Western Union us if you want to.
You could if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you could.
You can do Morse code. Dot 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 dot. Anyway, I digress. I have no idea where we are, guys. I don't know.
Our neighbors, you guys didn't see it because I'm looking at our neighbors' porch light goes on and off every night, and I swear to you, it's like boom, boom, boom. It's Morse code. Somebody's dying. Somebody's being held captive. And I've been telling my wife.
Maybe they just have a cat.
Or maybe they're watching A Quiet Place and trying to reenact some of the.
They're trying to. I keep telling Madison, I'm like, they need help, babe. And it's going click, 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 and I'm like, well, somebody's dead. So.
Or they're just trying to communicate with the pizza guy.
When the light stops, be concerned.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they got it patched into OBS and they're trying to send signals to the. I don't know what we're talking about. Anyway,
Smells or something.
something like that, yeah. All right, guys, I'm Joseph Burke at Joseph Burke Arts on social media. Of course, hats off always to the fantastic team PopX, Austin and Lindsay. We couldn't do this show without either of you, so I thank you guys so much. And that's it for this episode of PopX Cast. We will see you next time in just 3 weeks. We're going to delay it 1 week, like I said, so we can get the Batman in. And so the Batman drops in cinemas on March 4th. I'll be going to see it on Thursday night, March 3rd. Oh, Austin's already ready. He's got the... Oh, dude. Yeah, look at that. Dude, you got more toys than I do. That's ridiculous. But we'll be back on March the 6th as we will record episode 139 of PopX Cast, and we'll be talking about the Batman. Oh, I can't wait.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch J-Lo get married to Owen Wilson.
It's going to be great.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, marry me? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It was all right. It's
But,
cute.
yeah, that's it. That's all we got for you guys. Have yourself a great night, and we will see you next time right here on PopX Cast.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Baby.
From everyone at PopX Cast, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you know when we go live next. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Throw us up a like on Instagram and all those other social media outlets at PopXcast. Until next time.
Is it? What do they need, man?
Can I kick it?
This is for Alicia. All right, guys. We've got to cut it. We've got to cut it. Oh, my gosh. That was fun. I was hoping Austin would bust a leg, but, you know, he busted a Grogu, so that's just as good.
I busted something. Can't say it on air.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Have a good one.